Ever wondered if used motor oil and ordinary wood glue could turn into a waterproof rock-hard sealant? Sounds unbelievable, right? But sometimes the simplest materials can surprise us. Today we're putting used motor oil and plain old PVA wood glue to the test, mixing them into a tough water-resistant filler and sealant. No fancy tools, no special chemicals, just good old DIY creativity. Let's see what this homemade formula can really do. Alright, let's start with the basics. I poured used motor oil into 2 plastic cups. Nothing fancy here, just the same oil you drain from your mower or old motorcycle. Next, I add PVA wood glue to both cups. As soon as the glue hits the oil, you'll notice it starts to thicken a bit. Give it a slow stir. What we're doing here is combining the flexibility and bonding power of the glue with the water-resistant properties of the oil. This mix alone already looks promising, sticky, smooth, and great for sealing surfaces. Now we add 90-degree alcohol to both cups, just a small splash. The alcohol helps break down the glue and oil mixture so it blends smoother and bonds even better. Give it a little stir and you'll see it start to turn into a nice uniform paste, already looking promising. Alright, now let's make a simple mixing tool, nothing fancy. I am just taking 3 plastic zip ties and fastening them to the end of a wooden chopstick. Twist them tight so they flare out a bit. This gives us a little homemade stirring paddle. Now drop it into the cups and start stirring. Slow at first, then give it a good mix. You'll notice the texture changing, the glue oil and alcohol begin to bind into a thick, resin-like blend. Keep going for a minute or so until it smooths out nicely. This simple trick saves your good tools and does the job just fine. Looks messy now, but trust me, this mixture is going to become surprisingly tough. By the way, where are you tuning in from? I always love seeing where our DIY family is watching from. Now here's where things get interesting. We're going to take this experiment one step further. In one of the cups, I'm adding a spoonful of cement. Yes, the same stuff you'd use for patching concrete. Drop it in and start stirring again. The mixture thickens fast and turns into a paste that already feels a lot stronger and heavier. What we're doing here is combining the binding strength of glue, the oil's water resistance, and the rigidity of cement. This turns a simple mixture into a heavy-duty sealant, perfect for outdoor repairs, cracks, or even bonding bricks. Let's see how tough it really gets. Now, time to put this mixture to the test. I've got 2 bricks right here, and we're going to treat this just like mortar. Using a small wooden spoon, I spread a generous layer of the glue oil cement mix onto the surface of each brick. Then I press them together firmly and set them out in the sun to cure. This gives the mixture time to harden and bond deeply, just like real construction material. We're not babying it, no clamps, no fancy tricks, just pressure, sunlight, and patience. Let it sit for a bit, and we'll come back to see if this homemade formula can really hold like it claims. Now, let's see how this mix handles a real-world repair. Out here in the yard, I've got a crack in the concrete. Instead of ignoring it or buying expensive filler, I grab the cup with the cement-added mixture and brush it right into the crack. I work it in deep so it fills every little gap, then smooth the surface and let the sun do its job. Once it dries, this homemade filler turns solid and seals the surface strong, weather-resistant, and budget-friendly. Now let's try something different waterproofing wood. This time I'm using the cup without cement. I brush the mixture over half of a wood plank, making sure it soaks in nicely. Then I leave it to dry completely. Once it's dry, pour water across the surface. And look at that, the treated side stays dry while the untreated half absorbs water instantly. So not only does this mix bond and fill cracks, it also creates a waterproof coating for wood. Pretty impressive for waste oil and simple glue, right? After everything is cured in the sun, let's see how it holds up. First the bricks, they are bonded solid. I give it a few firm hits with a hammer and they don't budge at all. That's a strong grip from just waste oil, wood glue, and a little cement. Next, the concrete crack filler, I pour water right over it and nothing seeps through. The crack stays sealed tight. So we've got strength and waterproofing, not bad for a DIY blend from leftover materials. Alright, now let's move on to the second experiment. This one's all about making a waterproof coating with simple materials. Grab a disposable cup and squeeze in some regular silicone sealant, the same stuff many of us have used around sinks or windows. Next, pour in a bit of gasoline. Not much, just enough to thin the silicone and help it dissolve into a smooth paint-like liquid. Use a small stick or a brush and give it a thorough stir until the mixture turns into a milky, runny coating. It may take a little mixing, but once it's blended, you're ready to go. Now take a piece of wood and a piece of cardboard. Use a marker to divide each one in half. One side will be coated, the other left bare, so we can compare the results. Brush the silicone gas mix evenly over one half of the wood and one half of the cardboard. Make sure to spread a thin but solid layer. Then let everything sit for about 30 minutes to dry and cure fully. This mixture penetrates the surface fibers and leaves behind a thin, flexible, waterproof film, almost like a protective skin. It's simple, cheap, and it works on different materials. And the best part, you probably have these supplies sitting in your garage already. And there you have it. 2 simple experiments that turn everyday shop materials into powerful repair and waterproofing solutions. With just waste motor oil, PVA wood glue, and a touch of cement, we created a strong bonding paste that sealed brick-filled cracks in concrete and held up to water without breaking down. That's the kind of durability I appreciate. No fancy store-bought product, just smart use of what we already have. And then our second mix, silicone, thinned with gasoline, gave us a flexible waterproof coating that protected wood and cardboard like a charm. A thin layer, a little patience, and you've got a long-lasting water barrier. These are the kinds of tricks that used to be passed around in workshops and backyard garages, simple, practical, and incredibly useful for homeowners and hobby tinkerers like us. If you enjoyed this and picked up an idea or two, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe for more creative fixes, and share this video with someone who loves DIY as much as we do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.